Happy Halloween and welcome to Sports Jam. I'm Jay Wilcox.
And I'm John Jacobson. We'll put down the candy long enough to bring you section cross country and volleyball highlights, plus state girls tennis, and we'll meet a family with running in their blood.
First on the docket, playoff football. When Osseo and Maple Grove met in the regular season, it was a defensive battle on a windy night. The arch rivals met up again in the Section 5 5A semis at Osseo. On the second play from scrimmage, Osseo's Bridge Tussler takes the handoff on the sweep, gets a couple of blocks, and he is gone. A sizzling start to this one for the Orioles. Tussler goes 82 yards for the touchdown and a quick 7-0 lead. Maple Grove plays a strong first half, though. Roman Collins has a huge hole to run through as he takes it in for the TD. A missed extra point leaves the Crimson down 7-6. Then it's Collins again, continuing his strong playoff run that he started in the quarterfinals. This 16-yard TD and 2-point conversion puts Maple Grove up 14-7. Fast forward to the fourth quarter, same score, and watch the cut by Osseo quarterback DJ Abear. He dives in for the score to tie it up at 14. Then late in the game, Tim Searcy makes the last big play of the game. Watch Searcy tiptoe down the sideline on this one as he'll stay inbounds all the way. A 59-yard touchdown as Osseo wins a thriller 20-14. We'll hear from the Orioles later in the show.
The other semifinal in Section 5 matched what have become familiar playoff foes. Top seed and defending champion Wayzata hosted Champlin Park for the fourth year in a row in the playoffs. Top-ranked team in the state ready to go on its home field. First quarter, Chris Wibson picks off the Trevor Garrison pass at midfield and brings it back 49 yards to the 1-yard line as Garrison makes the tackle. Wayzata is able to punch it in. Antonio Ford going in untouched, a 1-yard score, 7-0 Trojans. Later in the first, Eric Rotai takes the pitch. He scores on a 1-yard run. Wayzata looks to be cruising, leading 14-0 after one. Second quarter, though, Michael Sales caps off a Rebels scoring drive. His touchdown run makes it a 14-7 game at halftime. Second play for Wayzata out of halftime. Ford scores on a 5-yard run to put the Trojans ahead 21-7. Same score in the fourth quarter when Sales finds the end zone for his second touchdown of the game. The Rebels are within 21-14. Champlin Park trying to drive for the tying score late, but Garrison is stopped by the Trojans' defense. Wayzata hangs on for a 21-14 win.
I'm just excited, it's my senior year. I'm trying to get as far as possible, especially coming last year, off winning state championship. Hopes are high this year, and, we had a pretty good regular season, but that's it. It's regular season, so we're just excited to keep on moving on and get a chance to play next Friday.
Providence Academy beat Breck late in the regular season in the school's first ever football meeting. They didn't wait long for meeting number 2, the 5-3A semifinals. First quarter, Jackson Canfield rolls out and throws on the run. Kellen Carney hauls it in for the Lions touchdown and a 13-0 lead. Breck answers. Austin Lohman, perfect pass over the middle to Casey Robinson. It's 13-7 after one. Second quarter, Marshall Klitsky takes the pitch, breaks a tackle out of the backfield, slips a few more Breck defenders, a 37-yard score and a 21-7 Providence lead. A huge day for Klitsky. The Lions get the ball right back after a Breck fumble. Canfield letting it fly. Nick Schmitz brings it in, a 39-yard touchdown to make it 28-7. Klitsky breaks off another big touchdown run here in the third quarter. Providence slams Breck 55-20. Klitsky with 378 yards rushing on the day.
In Class 4A, Benilde hosting Orono in the Section 6 semis. The visiting Spartans start strong. Zach Rakowski wins the race to the pylon. Orono takes a 14-0 lead in the second. Benilde fights back within 21-14. Garrett Howie fights and just crosses the goal line here. Orono, which needed a rally to beat Park Center in the quarters, goes to the air as Grant Schoen hits Connor Borgert, who takes the hit and makes the catch to set up a TD. It's 32-14 Orono after 3. But the Red Knights storm back. Javon Snelson takes the handoff, spins out of a tackle, and he's into the clear. This TD run pulls Benilde within 32-29, setting up a fantastic finish. Late in the game, Keaton Studsrud throws it up for Isaiah Gray, and Gray hauls it in and gets a foot down for the touchdown. With 1:11 to play, Benilde goes in front for the first time. Orono's last chance falls incomplete as Benilde St. Margaret's wins 36-32. They play Spring Lake Park in the section final.
Now to soccer, where the state tournament got underway last week with quarterfinal round games. The Wayzata girls looking to get to the Metrodome. They faced Blaine in the AA quarterfinals. First half, Maddie Eklund crossing the ball, getting it past the keeper. Summer Johnson deflects it in for a goal, a 1-0 Trojans lead. And that's the score at halftime of this one. First minute of the second half, Eklund gets it to Johnson again. Blaine goalie Juliet Clifford over-commits. Johnson kicks it into an empty Bengals net to make it 2-0 Wayzata. Blaine gets one, but it's not enough. Wayzata wins 2-1 to move into the AA semifinals.
Maple Grove's boys team looked to advance to the Dome for the first time since 1998. Maple Grove facing unbeaten North St. Paul, and the Crimson get one. Alex Niederloh's throw in right to John Fox for the header. It's 1-0 Crimson, 7:10 into the match. And a few minutes later, Connor Gift's shot will be deflected by the goalkeeper off the goalpost. Freshman Kevin Hoof, though, is there to put the rebound away for his first varsity goal. The Crimson leading the number 2 seed Polars 2-0 at the half. And PJ Enright is superb in net as Maple Grove wins it 2-0 to advance to the semis. Maple Grove meets Eden Prairie at noon in the semis Tuesday at the Metrodome. In the Class A boys semifinals Monday morning, Prairie Seeds Academy, the defending state champions, beat Rochester Lords 2-1 in overtime. And in the other semi, Benilde beat St. Paul Academy 1-0. So it's Benilde and Prairie Seeds for the title Thursday morning at the Dome. And also the Totino Grace and Benilde St. Margaret's girls soccer teams advancing out of the quarterfinals and into the Class A semis in that tournament.
And we'd also like to congratulate Jack Dugba of the District 279 Adapted Sports Program of the Park Center Pirates for soccer. He scored his 100th career goal last week. Still to come here on Sports Jam, highlights from section cross country, state tennis, and more. Welcome back to Sports Jam.
Spots in the state cross country meet were on the line for local runners last week. Dave Bauer coaching his final section meet for Park Center in 5AA. Champlain Park's Cassidy Soley takes third place, qualifying for state for the third year in a row. Danielle Rudin is sixth for Maple Grove. She'll run at the state meet, and Park Center sisters Kate and Ann Simona take the 9 and 10 spots. They'll run in Northfield as well. In the boys race, Anders Evenson is third for Osseo to advance. Ryan Graham, well, almost losing his lunch here, but he guts it out for a fifth place finish. We check the team scores. Totino Grace's girls are headed to state after winning a tiebreaker over Coon Rapids for second, behind winner St. Michael Albertville. Park Center, Maple Grove, Champlain Park, and Osseo are 7th through 10th. Caitlin Fritz of Anoka wins the race. Centennial and Mounds View are the top two and advance to state on the boys' side. Osseo is 4th and Maple Grove 5th. Brendan Sage of St. Michael Albertville wins the boys' race.
Section 6AA features some strong squads. Only 2 girls and boys teams, though, could advance on to state. 6AA meet at Gale Woods Farm. Anna French wins the race for Wayzata. Teammate Annika Halverson is 4th. Armstrong's Melissa Kabak and Anna Neighbor finish 8th and 9th to qualify for state. To the boys 5K, Josh Thorson wins for the Trojans. Teammate Connor Olson right behind him for second place. John Klecker of Hopkins is 3rd. His brother Joe also qualifies for state, finishing 8th. Here's a look at the final team scores. Wayzata's boys failed to qualify to state after winning last year. Trojans finish a close 3rd behind Edina and Eden Prairie. Wayzata's girls, however, are headed to state. Trojans win the 6AA meet with 60 team points. Edina finishes 2nd with Eden Prairie 3rd. Hopkins places 4th, 1 spot ahead of Armstrong. The state meet is this Saturday in Northfield. At the state girls tennis tournament, 2 sisters from Providence Academy are now state champions. Senior Elena Sullivan on the right and sophomore Ava Sullivan defeated Margaret Pearson and Sophia Terzic of Rochester Lords in the Class A doubles match in a great 3-set match. Elena was the Class A singles champion as a sophomore and finished 2nd a year ago, but wanted to team up with her younger sister for her final high school tournament.
Sections was the first time we had played doubles together actually in the whole tournament or in the whole season. So we both were singles players.
We decided in the summer that we wanted to play doubles. We decided it'd be a fun way for her to end her high school career.
Well, the Sullivans helped Providence to the team portion of the state tournament too. After beating Osakis and losing to Blake, the Lions met St. James in the third place match. Elena Sullivan's in the near court in the #1 singles match against Paige Olson. After they trade backhand, Sullivan fires a forehand winner down the line. Sullivan wins a 3-set match. The #1 doubles, the Providence duo of Haley Gross and Isabel Gross in the near court, and they take the point against Julia Runge and Michaela Nordby in another 3-setter. Most of the matches are very close in this one, but Providence wins them all to place third. In Class AA, Wayzata had a singles player and a doubles team advance to state from the very tough Section 6. Trojans foreign exchange student Lucia Solis faces Kelsey Frechette of Rochester Century in the third-place match in singles. Off the Frechette serve, Solis with the return, then as Frechette tries to come to the net, a nice backhand passing shot for Solis, but it's a good first set for Frechette. Both players will come in toward the net with drop shots on this point before Solis is left with an easy touch volley into an open court. Solis rallies after dropping the first set to win in 3 sets to place third.
Well, we're down to the final week in section volleyball. Wayzata is hoping to get back to the state tournament for a 4th year in a row. Trojans hosting Armstrong in the Section 6 3A quarterfinals. Wayzata already up 1-0 when Natalie Wilson gets to Julia Doyle. She slams it down for a point and a 15-6 Trojans lead. The Falcons put together a mini rally. They scramble for this point. Indigo Thompson to Kelsey Sather, who gets the point for the Falcons, pulling them back to within 5 points. Wayzata, though, regroups. Wilson with a service ace to close out the game 25-15. Early in Game 3, the Falcons serving. Doyle to Tony Okiemi, who hammers the ball for a kill as the Trojans sweep the Falcons in 3 to advance. The semifinals are Tuesday at Benilde St. Margaret's. Hopkins faces top seed Eden Prairie. Then it's Wayzata and Minnetonka in the second semifinal. The winners play Thursday night at Edina High School.
In Section 5 3A, Osseo playing at Mounds View in the quarterfinals. Shia Sanders serves up an ace for Osseo early in the opening game. Rachel Porupski answers with a kill for the Mustangs as they surge in front 19-13. Tessa Indelkoffer's ace on game point gives the Mustangs a 25-14 win in the first game, but it's much closer from there. In Game 2, Hannah Pekarik gets the kill for Osseo as the Orioles go up 23-18 at this point, and the Mustang horse doesn't really care for that too much. The Orioles get a great block by Sanders to pull out a 26-24 win to even the match at 1 game apiece. Mounds View returns the favor, though. This block nets them a 26-24 win of their own in the third game. The Mustangs go up 2-1. Osseo bounces back to take a tight 25-22 win in the fourth game to send it to a Game 5, but it's Mounds View advancing to face top seed Blaine with a 5-game win over Osseo.
Park Center moved into Class 2A for volleyball recently. The Pirates, the 3rd seed in Section 5AA. Highlights from their first round match against Blake. Park Center setter Megan Van Holzen dumping it over. The Pirates take a 10-8 lead in the opening game. Nicole Schaub delivers an ace service. The Pirates go up 24-10. They win the first game 25-10. More solid serving from Park Center. Jessica Vielander with an ace for a quick 8-2 lead for PC in the second game. Victoria Martinson will punch home a Bears overpass. The Pirates roll to an easy 25-5 win in the second game. Park Center rolls in 3. They host Zimmerman on Tuesday. Time for a quick break here on Sports Jam.
And when we come back, meet a Hopkins High School family where running is a tradition and a passion. Well, for the group we meet on this week's Sports Jam Spotlight, running definitely runs in the family.
Jason Malillo joins us with their story.
That's right, 5 siblings, all running varsity cross country. And oh yeah, their parents, pretty good runners too back in the day. In this week's Spotlight story, we meet the Kleckers. Go to a cross-country meet in which the Hopkins Royals are running, and you'll likely see the name Klecker near the top of the leaderboard. But which Klecker? Is it John, or Mary, or Sarah, or Joe, or Elizabeth? Well, take your pick.
It's fun running with them. We talk about it a lot.
It's fun, just like
when we were all racing.
5 siblings ranging in age from 13 to 18 all run varsity cross country for the Royals. Twins John and Mary Klecker are seniors at Hopkins and the top runners on their respective teams.
I like it. I think it's nice because we all train together in the summer, so I definitely like my brother is always my training partner, so he'll get me up in the morning, I'll get him up, just kind of whatever we can do to make each other better.
It's definitely made my senior year really special, being able to run with my sisters, and I know like a couple races we've been running right together for the majority of it, and it's like a special kind of encouragement.
John and Mary are joined on the team by junior Sarah, freshman Joe, and 7th grader Elizabeth, known to everyone as Bit.
We run together in the races a lot, so sometimes we talk to each other. She says, like, you know, get those next 2 people ahead of us, and she just tells me to have fun with it, because she always says that I have so many more years, and she's a senior, so this is her last year. So she just tells me that if I have a bad race, it's fine, because I have so many more.
The Kleckers grew up running together, so for them, being on the same high school team is a natural progression.
Nobody really gets why all of us run. I mean, for us, it's just kind of a given that we all run.
I remember when we were little, my dad would take us to the track at the Blake School, and we would run races there. And back then I didn't really like it, but running's always kind of been a part of our household.
The Klecker kids certainly have the bloodlines to be champion runners. Their father, Barney, was a standout runner at Wisconsin Stout in the 1970s. Barney won Grandma's Marathon in 1978 and later competed in the Ultra Marathon, a grueling 50-mile race for which Barney set a world record.
I knew I had some ability, but I think probably my strongest weapon was my work ethic. And when I stepped up to 50 miles, I knew I could go down the first time I broke 50 miles in the world record. I knew I could do it because I'd run that pace for 40 miles in practice with training shoes on. So I knew I could go in a race and run 50 at that. Well, first you have to do the training, then you have to have the confidence to go after a record like that. And, you know, then it's just a matter of doing it.
Janice Horns-Klecker ran 1 season of cross country at the University of Minnesota in the 1980s. She won Grandma's in 1987, won the Twin Cities Marathon in 1991 and 1992, and later that same year, Janice reached the pinnacle of amateur running when she competed in the marathon at the Summer Olympics in Barcelona.
I think I've learned to appreciate it a lot more as time has gone by. When you're in the thick of it, it's sometimes it can be very stressful, but I just love to run and train, and then to really to be able to perform at your best at the Olympic trials is what it takes. And it was a thrill. It was an honor and a joy and just a privilege to be on that team, because at the starting line there were 113 women, and they said go. We ran a whole marathon, and first, second, and third out of team. So it really boils down to who can put together a good race that day.
Janice and Barney Klecker both try to pass on their knowledge and experience in running to the kids, but mother and father have taken on very different roles.
My dad, he writes the workouts in the summer. If it wasn't for him, I mean, I really would be kind of clueless in the summer.
I always consider myself a better coach than I ever was a runner. And I didn't do too bad as a runner, but I'd like to think I'm a better coach.
He likes to design workouts, and especially in the winter and the summer when we're not running for Hopkins, he likes to help us, because he kind of knows our strengths better than a coach here might.
My mom kind of rationalizes him a little bit. She kind of helps me see what I really should be applying or what might be a little bit too hard for me to do training-wise or lifestyle-wise.
When the kids talk to Barney about their training, they very much get the nuts and bolts of training. They should be running intervals at this pace or running this many hill repeats and stuff. And when they talk to me, they kind of get the heart and soul of it, and what it takes to stay motivated, or what are some race strategies, and how do you keep positive thoughts flowing when you're in a race. So I tend to speak to it more from maybe a more compassionate side and more the mental side of it, I think. And Barney kind of really gets down to the nuts and bolts of training.
And as you might have seen earlier in the show, John and Joe Klecker were top 10 in their section meet, so the brothers will run at the state meet in Northfield this weekend, and you can bet that the whole family will be down there cheering them on. That's kind of what they do in that family.
A terrific story. Thanks, Jason.
Welcome.
Well, coming up here on Sports Jam, we're going to take a break and we'll talk football with the Osseo Orioles coming up next. Stay with us. For the second straight season, the Osseo football team will take on Wayzata in the Section 5 5A championship game Friday night. And two of the Orioles have joined us here on Sports Jam, Adam Hammer and DJ Hebert. And DJ, congratulations on the semifinal win, first of all, against Maple Grove, and what's becoming kind of a routine for you. Second half comeback, it happened against Champlin Park, against Blaine, and again against Maple Grove.
Yeah, it's not really a good thing, I don't think. You know, I feel like we need to come out early and play good. I think it's the conditioning of the team, the heart, the never die attitude, never give up. You know, the teams, if you're not going to play 100% the whole game, you're not going to beat us.
Great rivalry game against the Crimson, and I think you kind of knew based on the regular season game you were going to get another good game from Maple Grove here.
Oh, yeah, because the first time they gave us a really good battle. You know, we changed a few things up because they're a really, really good defensive team, and they're good at watching film. They know what we do, and we had to kind of flip it up on them a little bit, and they looked to work on us a little bit.
Tell me about this year's team and the kind of attitude you guys have brought to the game. 9 straight wins now after that opening loss to Centennial.
Oh, man. I guess you can tell how hurtful that loss was, you know, because, you know, we had all the accolades before the season, you know, all the interviews, everything. When we lost, we were like, man, we can't worry about that anymore. You know, it just wasn't right.
The Wayzata game a year ago was not a good experience for the guys in orange and black. What do you need to do to turn it around? And how are you more confident this year that you can give them a good game?
Oh, Wayzata's a great team. Best team I've ever played against, you know, but that's what we like to play. You know, last year they smashed us. You know, we were a different team last year. We're a whole new team. We didn't win 8 games in a row last year. So, you know, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
DJ, good luck Friday night.
All right, thanks a lot.
Adam Hammer, the Osseo defense, very big in the second half against Maple Grove. What did you guys change up after they did pretty well running and passing against you in the first half?
Yeah, you know, they're a good offense, and you can't overlook them, kind of like some other teams have, and we knew that. And, you know, Brady's a good thrower, but good quarterback, and they got solid core receivers, and they're going to chuck it up a bit on you, and they're going to make some plays. And so we knew that was going to happen. You just kind of got to stay calm, let those happen, because those things kind of happen. You just got to get on to the next play, kind of forget about it, and just keep rolling with the game.
You guys have defensively, as a unit, seem like you've either had games where you've been just outstanding and shut down teams, and maybe other games where you've given up points, but you always seem to come up with a big play at the end.
Yeah, you know, we like to stick together as a defense. You know, we do stuff together. We're just a big family. This whole team is, and I've never been on a team like this. There's nothing like this team that I've ever been a part of, and just to have the togetherness, the calmness that we have because we know got each other's back it's a great feeling, and I couldn't imagine having it with anybody else.
Maybe you haven't seen a lot of film or tape yet on Wayzata, but based on what you know about their personnel, what do you need to do against them defensively to try to slow them down Friday?
You know what? We just got to play hard. You know, like you said, we haven't watched that much film yet, but I sure know we're going to do it this week. But we just got to stick together, and like I said, big plays are going to happen. That's football, you know. That's what's going to happen. So you just got to keep going with the next play, and if they score, they score. We got our offense behind us. And
good luck Friday night.
Thank you very much.
Adam Hammer and DJ Hebert, part of the Osseo Orioles team. They'll take on Wayzata in the Section 5 final Friday night at 7 o'clock at Wayzata High School. We'll be back to wrap up Sports Jam after this timeout. Our game of the week is the Section 5 5A Football Championship. It's a rematch from last year as Osseo travels to Wayzata. The game is Friday night. You can watch it Saturday at 8:30 and 11 p.m. on Saturday, and then Sunday at 5 o'clock here on Channel 12. That is all for the show. That's it for this scary man and I. We'll see you next week here on Sports Jam.